back while tied. Horses that pull back while tied, what they're doing is they're resisting this pressure on their pull, and they're resisting this pressure on their nose. So every time I ask her to go forward, and every time I ask her to stop, and she softens her neck, then she's starting to give in to the pressure. She's not resisting it anymore, but she's giving in to the pressure. So go forward. Good girl. That's it right there. So this is where it starts. You know, even if it was to start back where the panels are, that's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But she said this is where the training starts, so then this is where it's going to begin for us today. You know, like I said, if she's not comfortable 20 feet from the trailer, she's certainly not going to be comfortable up to the trailer or in the trailer. Good girl. So we started establishing a forward cue on her. And when we tap her on the hip, she starts going forward. So two things need to happen now. One, wherever she stops, training begins. Two is I'm not going to ask her to go forward until she calms down and she relaxes a little bit. When she's comfortable and relaxed, then I'll ask her to go forward. Three, I've got to have at least, when I do ask her to go forward or move something, I got to have at least a 99% chance that she's going to move something somewhere. She just can't sit there and ignore the tapping of the dressage whip on her hip. She can't do it. So I'll continue tapping until she moves something somewhere. It doesn't matter if she backs up, it doesn't matter if she goes forward, it doesn't matter if she goes to the right, it doesn't matter if she goes left. She's got to move something somewhere. All right, so we're going to ask her to go forward. And there she puts a foot in. Now what I want her to do is automatically take a foot out. I just want her to put one foot in and take one foot out until she's comfortable. You know, I don't want her going all the way in so she bolts out. So we're going to ask her to put one foot in. Good. And then take one foot out. Now she's putting two in, which is okay, but I'm still going to back her out. And like we were talking about before, my timing is not always perfect. And it's not always going to be perfect. I'm going to make my mistakes. But the difference is the horse isn't going to catch me at my mistakes. I'm going to catch her at her mistakes. But when I do make mistakes, I'm going to realize that I made that mistake and do my best not to make that mistake again. Good. Good. In. Good. Good. No. Go forward. Forward. Good girl. Forward. 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 Good girl. And go forward. Good girl. So maybe she needs to come back out here for a minute and learn to go forward again. You know, go forward and move your hip. And forward and move your hip. You know, the other work we were just doing was easy. There was nothing to it. All she had to do was step in and step out. But, you know, if she needs more of a motivator to get her going, then good. We'll sit here and work on this forward cue for a few minutes. And forward. Good girl. Good. And forward. And good girl. All right, so let's go back to the trailer. Good girl. And good. Good. Right there, I'll take that. Good girl, Ann. So she's more willing to want to get in. It's much easier to do this than it is to have to work on out there. You know, maybe some horses I got to send them into a trot and work on directional control from the ground. And then once we do that for about 20 minutes, they're more than happy to get into the trailer. Good girl. Good. Good. Right there. Good. And back out. Good. Good girl. And in. Good girl. Good. Good. And out. Whoop. Be careful. Good girl. So tell her she's doing great. Good girl. Good. And back out. And forward. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Perfect. Better. Nice. Get out. Get out. Good girl. Yes, she is making me work today. Well, I guarantee you, if I have to work hard, they've got to work hard. You know, it's a two-way street. Good for you. And back in. Good. Perfect, nice. Better, excellent, not yet. Now you can get out. Good girl. Oh, you're doing just fine, yes you are. All right. Good. Better, nice, great. Not yet. Good. Good for you. Oh, come here. Yeah. Good girl. So there she thought about it, then she hesitated, then she started, then I tapped her and she went forward. And when I'm correcting horses, if they're bucking or rearing or racing out of the trailer, I'm always going to correct it with something I want them to do. So if they're racing out of the trailer, I'm going to put them back into the trailer. If they're bucking, I'm going to move their hips. If they're rearing, I'm going to teach them how to put their heads down. So I'm always going to correct it with good behavior. If I always replace it with good stuff, then the bad simply goes away and the good stays with the horse. So we're never getting mad at them, and we're never scolding them, and we're never, beating on them, because we're always replacing it with something we really want our horses to do in the first place. Good girl. Good girl. And then release it. Good girl. Then she stood there that time. And then after. Good girl. And move your butt over. There we go. So normally I would have gone a little bit slower with her, but our time is running out and I had to get her back in. So, leave her in there now.
Time is ready. Are you going home with your mom? Okay, so now when she opens that door and she...
I'd have her untied and I'd open it a little bit slowly, then I'd get a hold of the lead rope and let her back out.
But what if she just...
Bolts back out?
This is how it started.
Uh-huh.
This is kind of how it started.
Then I'd ask her to get right back in. I'd get my dressage whip, tap, 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 get back in. And let's say you can't get all 4 feet in, get 2 feet in.
All right.
Get something in.
Okay.
She doesn't know what you want. She doesn't know if you want her up to the trailer, 2 feet in the trailer, all the way in the trailer, or her nose on the trailer. She doesn't know at all. She has no idea. It's like creek crossing. People say, well, if you come over that creek that day, you got to get that darn horse across that creek. That is not true. The horse doesn't have a clue to what you want him to do. He doesn't know if you want him across the creek, in the creek, 20 feet back from the creek. So sometimes when I'm out doing creek crossing, if I get 19 feet to the creek, I'm happy, and I turn around and go home. Next day, the horse is at 19, then pretty soon the horse is at 15, then pretty soon the horse is at 10, on the creek, in the creek, then across the creek. So, you start getting in a hurry, and you're going to get your horses flipping over backwards and bucking and rearing and kicking and all that other kind of stuff.
She's gone. She's in there.
Yeah, she's doing good now.
She's relaxed. Good job.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.